up, you guys? Okay, I have no idea if this is gonna make any sense, but I was just watching this video and it triggered this whole like unfolding theory in my mind. So part of what this girl was talking about, her name is Nayla, I think. I'll link her in the video, but she was talking about sort of this, you know, belief in a dream that was like the impossible dream, but it was so firmly like held in the heart that it was totally possible, that in fact it was destiny, that it was guaranteed to happen, that it was like this promise. And then through life, these like harsh realities coming to pass that basically made the whole thing seem like a cruel cosmic joke, right? Okay, let me get comfortable here. I am driving, but okay, so at that stage, then it's like, okay, well, I guess I've been tricked or fooled, or I am a fool, or I don't know what the heck is happening. And so I just like, I want to start over. I just want to like go home or go back to what I know, blah, blah, blah. So for me, it made me think about a time in my life that was extremely powerful, extremely, I would say, magical. And it was where I really started to understand energy, and like I literally felt like I was doing like Jedi like mind tricks, and like it was really fantastical, you know. It was like, anyway, for me this time period was like 97, 98, and it sort of led up to an experience in 2001 where it was an extremely mystical experience that ended in nothing short of like a crashing halt of like tragedy, is what I can say. And this was just prior to 9/11. And so I feel like, and maybe the timeline is different for everybody, but I feel like collectively 9/11 was us getting thrown into this alternate like timeline, reality, whatever, because the, you know, forces that control narratives and whatever somehow understood that many of us were here that were connected to like the true reality, or like the reality of humans having creational powers, you know, and having connection to source, having original source code, however you want to say it, right? So this collective event threw us into this alternate timeline where the reality was completely controlled. And for them, I'm assuming they thought, okay, now, you know, we got this back under lock and key. And for many of us, I think the goal there was like to have us fall into this robotic way of being, to just follow the script, you know, serve the man, always be struggling, blah, blah, blah. And so while there was many that didn't follow that and that, you know, were able to break out of that, for many of us, like the disillusionment became so great in that like attempt to be normal or to follow this narrative, the disillusionment that they thought would like break us and just make us give up on this reality that we had perhaps had glimpses of when we were children or when we were teenagers, depending on your age or whatever it is, where these endless possibilities were available, where we just knew in our hearts that we were here to like create something the world had never seen, or experience something and then share it with the world that would really shift, you know, the majority of people into a higher state of consciousness, like however you want to say it, right? So I think what they didn't bank on was that their ridiculousness and how insane and movie-like that their narrative would become, that it would actually have the opposite effect of where that disillusionment would just take us back to a completely surrendered, childlike state where we go back to God, whatever you want to call God, and we say, I clearly have no idea what's going on. I clearly have no idea what my purpose is, what I am, who I am, blah, blah, blah. I am completely back to a childlike space of openness and wonder and like, show me reality. Because what I'm seeing in the mass consciousness can't be real. I know that, right? It's too insane. It's not heart-based in any possible way. And so that whole time period, like from 2001 to now, was like riddled with obstacles and booby traps and imposters and like things that looked like they were leading to that original dream, but that would end in like sorrow and tragedy and heartbreak and like things just meant to like cripple the soul or separate the soul from the body, you know, like take the freaking soul through so much trauma that it had to leave the body, you know, because it's like too much. And so after all these obstacles and booby traps, it's like the complete surrender is actually the 0 point or the starting point to go through that eye of a needle, you know, to have the heart of a child, to have the eyes of a child, which is where we always needed to be anyway. So it's like this maturing of the dream to where the dream is still possible, but it's grounded in the rules of like this reality, which makes it way more powerful because it's like pulling that, you know, 12th dimensional, 13th dimensional dream into the 3D. And that's what they didn't count on, because they thought for sure that they would break our minds, break our spirits, break our hearts to the point where we were just programmable biological robots, right? That would do their bidding. So F that. And if you're starting to have like remembrances of like what you believed was possible at some point in time, particularly before 2001, and you're starting to have like glimmers of that show back in your reality, or just like little pieces of that come back into your heart, I would say just follow that and like have hope that there is still like there is still a divine plan, even if it got completely hijacked. Because I also don't think that this particular matrix that we're living in, like this timeline, I don't think that this timeline is like very old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think like 20, 25 years. It's just my theory, but like, not to say that humans haven't been messed with like for longer than that. Probably, you know, definitely like when the Federal Reserve and things like that were created, that's, and the big bankers probably started around then, this current like inverted matrix. But like this particular timeline, I think started with 9/11, and I think a lot of us are breaking it down. That's my hope, at least. I should probably post this before I actually even watch it back, because I have no earthly idea if it made sense, but maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Love you guys. Bye.